Alright, so this is a comparison test. I have first the Bushnell 1200l. This is the tracker light. And the second one that I have is the Bushnell Pro 1300. Alright, so first things first, the Bushnell Pro 1300. It's about 6 inches long compared to the Bushnell Tracker's 7 inches. The Bushnell Pro has a lot more grip to it. You can kind of see right off the bat. The battery is rechargeable. That's probably the biggest difference between the two lights. The Tracker has AA batteries, whereas the Bushnell Pro has a rechargeable battery. It comes with this 5-volt charger and cable. And to access the charging port, right here where it says lithium ion, it actually spins 360 degrees to give you access right in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. Now another key feature of this flashlight right here is it has a storage mode. So right up here at the top you have these two dots. One is actually a lock and one is just a circular dot right there. And this switch that goes back and forth. Now the lock is basically for storage, so if you put it in storage or in your car or wherever you put it, you don't have to worry about the button actually, accidentally being depressed. So you go to click the button, nothing happens. That's good. Now you switch it over here to the white button right here, and you get light. Alright, so as I just demonstrated, you get 3 different modes. The first click of the button is going to be 1300 lumens of light. Second click is going to be 150. It's going to be less of a throw, it's going to be less flood-like. And the third click of the button is going to be a strobe light. The strobe is actually at 1300 lumens, so in the little pamphlet that comes with the light, it says that's used for emergency purposes, so that you can be found. And trust me, you can be found. This light is absolutely one of the brightest lights I've ever tried. Now, compared to the Bushnell 1200, there is actually a significant difference. I did a light review last night. The quality is not so great, but you can tell the difference between the 1300 and the 1200. I didn't really think that there was going to be that much of a difference, but as far as the light is concerned, there is a significant difference. This is the 1300. The 1300 also has a secondary light which doesn't do a throw, and then a strobe. And here's 2 of them side by side. One of the things that I noticed is that if I flip it over here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. The lens between both of them. Now you've got a Cree LED for both lights. However, the lens on the 1200, the Tracker 1200, plastic. The lens on the Bushnell Pro, glass. I like that. It feels just a higher quality to me. My plastic Bushnell Tracker lens is actually gotten a little scratched. The bezel, you can probably see right there, it has a little bit so that you can stand it up on a surface without scratching the lens there. However, the Bushnell Pro is a lot deeper. So you can set it on a surface just like that without having to worry about scratching the lens there. Now on the Tracker, you have the button on the side. I actually prefer it that way because I can hold it in my hand one-handed without having to turn on the light. It's like a sort of remedial complaint, but I do actually prefer it over the Bushnell Pro. And I understand about accidentally pressing the light and everything. However, one-handed, I can just simply turn on the light. It's that simple. And I'm not going to go too in-depth about the Bushnell Tracker T1200. I have another video, and I'll put a link in the description for that. As far as access to the light itself on the Bushnell Pro, you can't do the same. I find myself having to flip it around, using my index finger, turn it on, and flipping it back around. It's sort of inconvenient. However, quality, it just feels a lot better in the Bushnell Pro. The aluminum, probably the same, but just the way that it's made and constructed, feels a lot more solid. There is no red lights, no blue lights on the Pro. You just have high, low, and strobe. Now they call the button up here a tactical switch. So what you can do with that is, once you have it unlocked, one click is the high 1300, but it goes right back to the 1300 if you don't press it fast enough. So you always start out at the 1300 lumen light. Now if you give it a double click, you get right to the 150. Same with the third click. Strobe. However, if you let it sit, right back to a solid 1300. Now if you half depress the button, you get the same effect, but you don't have to have continuous use. So that's half depress right there, half depress, half depress. If you let it sit, right back to 1300. And I'm not sure if that's going to be standard for all the Pro models of Bushnell's flashlights, but the tracker is not the same. You have to continuously cycle through the button with each individual click. So that's the 1200. I can wait, and it's going to go right to the red. So that's another difference. One other difference that I noticed is that the weight, the Bushnell Pro is lighter. That probably has something to do with the fact that it doesn't have a massive case of batteries in it, but it still does have a little bit of heft to it. Charging time isn't really long. I'd say give it an hour right out of the box and you'll get a green light. Overall, really good flashlight. It's my favorite flashlight that I've tested so far. Definitely a keeper. So if you have any questions, of course, ask under the comment section. Share the video, subscribe for some more reviews. I'm going to have another knife review at the end of the week, probably on Thursday. If you have any suggestions or comments or want me to try to review anything else, just let me know. Subscribe, like, and share the video, guys. Thanks, and again, this is Matt from the Budget Travel Blog.